Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Will There Be Cake? I'm Robert Lamb. With me, as always, Amber Simpson.
What up, what up?
And today, we're about to get nuts.
Good one.
It's not nut day. But I guess that's just me being a little squirrely. What?
Wow.
What day are we celebrating, Amber Simpson?
Squirrel Appreciation Day.
Wowzers.
Do they even like nuts or just like acorns?
I think... they like nuts.
Oh.
If you had a nut and you gave it to them, I bet you they would be so happy. They'd probably high five you like in a commercial.
That's true.
That's true though. Ice Age squirrel loves acorns.
Yeah.
He wants the acorn, but I don't think they had nuts back then.
Only acorns.
Yeah, I think evolution shows that the nut came a lot later in life.
Well, I mean, like the squirrels around here aren't finding nuts unless you feed them to them.
Yeah, but they find nuts other places.
Where?
I don't know. In the woods.
In the woods.
Wherever nuts grow. Okay. You don't think they're going to eat a peanut? They love peanuts.
Yeah, no, you're right.
They love peanuts almost as much as elephants, apparently.
All right. Did you get that from like a cartoon?
Yeah, you never watched those old cartoons with like the elephant? Elephants love peanuts, but I think it's because of the circus, and that was just like a...
Oh, yeah, they were just always peanuts around.
That's why they made circus peanuts, which are those
For the
orange,
elephants?
gross...
Ew.
You ever had those?
No.
Circus peanuts, like the orange marshmallow type candies?
Oh, yeah.
I think that's where they like... It all like kind of stem from...
Okay, well, we're not doing circus peanut.
No,
day.
we're going to appreciate squirrels today.
We're just appreciating the squirrels today.
So we're appreciating them. It's not Squirrel Day, it's Squirrel Appreciation Day.
Yeah.
Weird.
I mean, it's kind of the same thing, is it not? You like squirrels, don't you? You probably like saved a squirrel or two.
I have twice.
Yeah.
Well, I remember the first time I was a lot younger, and it was actually my mom. She was a realtor at the time, and I remember she said she came home and she just had a squirrel, and she was like, "Robert, look!" And I was like, "What the heck?" And it was like a baby squirrel, but it was like running around and stuff, and it was climbing on her, and she gave it to me, and like I was playing with it, and like I remember sitting on the couch, and it was running around the room.
You?
No, it was still like pretty young, and I was like, "Why do you have a squirrel?" And she goes, "I was showing this house today, and it fell out of the tree and landed on me." And
oh my god!
I think it like fell out of a tree or something like that. She said she panicked because it was like on her, and like afterwards they all like laughed because she was showing the house to two people, and she couldn't find like a nest or like where it was. So she's like, I don't know. She's like, let's just keep it and we'll bring it down to the bird sanctuary because they deal with all kinds of animals actually. And basically when you find like a bird, they try to bring it back to where they found it and stuff once they nurture it up. So we did that eventually, but we had it for about a week or two. And then I found one with my friends at the movie theater when we went to go watch a movie at like midnight one time. There was on our way leaving, we saw like it was just in the middle of the sidewalk, and it was like curled up, and it like didn't have its eyes open yet. So I was like, oh man, it's really young. So we picked it up, and I was like, they're like, what are you gonna do? I'm like, I don't know, I'll take it home with me. So I took it home with me, put it in like a little box. I tried to feed it. I went to the pet store and I asked them like, what should I feed? And they're like, try to do like kitten milk and stuff like that. So I bought some of that and I was trying to feed it. Eventually it started nursing on it, and then I brought it down to the
I wonder if it survived.
place again. I think they said it was healthy enough that it looked good. So
it's weird. I wonder like why its mom just like left it to die.
Yeah, it must have fell out of a tree though, or something. I remember back in the day because I used to have 2 huge oak trees in my yard, and I remember when there were storms, after every storm, me and my parents would go outside and just see, because there would always be like a bird or like some eggs would fall out of like the trees and stuff. So I just assumed maybe it's something like that.
Nice.
Yeah. It's
so weird because I know we picked these holidays this early, like before the month even started, but for some reason I was having a conversation about squirrels with Adam the other day. Mm-hmm. And we were talking about, because he was like squirrels like here are so small, like up north they're like huge, and I was like yeah I've been like a couple places and seen like some big squirrels like Canada, and
they gotta be warm. It's the body mass. It's like colder up there.
Somewhere else I was seeing a Pearl Jam show. I saw like a big one. Mm-hmm. Where was I going? Oh, but we were talking about how like they I'm pretty sure, or maybe I read this, but I don't think so. But they they live kind of a long time compared to some other animals, and they
other rodents.
Yeah, other
sure.
rodents, and then they kind of like have like their pack, their little family or whatever, and they kind of stay in one place. Like they don't like travel around a lot.
No,
so if you have like a family of them living in your tree in the backyard, a lot of times you'll just like see like it'll be the same family there for like years.
Well, the guy across the street, and then also in our backyard we have like bird feeders, but we also like my mom would have like buy a big bag of peanuts, and she would put that out, and it'd usually be the same squirrels, and some of them she can feed by hand.
Yeah.
And same with the guy across the street would do the same thing. And I know that a lot of them would just have like their homes like in the trees, and they would just come down whenever they knew, like they learned like, oh, it's morning, like it's feeding time. I think I read somewhere that squirrels are the smartest rodent.
Yeah.
I think rats are like a close second, but I think squirrels are actually the smartest. And a lot of people are always like, how can they be smart? They always get run over and run across the road and stuff. And it's like they panic. Like they have like thing where they like,
you could
even
tell
if they're
seen them panic.
I just hate when they're like safe on like in the grass, and then all of a sudden they're like,
they freak out.
Car's coming. They're like, I got to run across the road right now and get back home. And I'm like, if you just stayed over, I almost ran over a squirrel one time because of that. He did like a double take, like he ran across the road, then came back, and I like hit the brakes. But you know that's why a lot of times they get run over. But they're actually
high
like
anxiety
really smart
animals.
Yeah, they are.
They're really smart, and they like that's why you'll see like if you start feeding them, they'll like come back at the same time. Or
they can learn tricks and stuff too. I've seen people who have pet squirrels and stuff. And actually, pet squirrels probably. I'm surprised you're not allowed to have them as pets, or maybe you are, but like
so many of them.
Well, it's just weird, like maybe because they don't want you to catch them and raise them, but like. To sell them kind of like at a pet store like they do with prairie dogs or with rats and mice.
Right.
I'm just surprised you can't
Don't they do sell some of them? Like can't you buy a flying squirrel or some
Flying
shit?
Squirrels you can. Those are more like
That's
exotic.
Weird. Yeah.
And they're not from, I don't think, are they North American flying squirrels? I think they are. But yeah, they're a little more exotic. I'm just surprised you can't. I've never seen like them selling
like a
regular squirrels.
Probably because there's so many and people just think of them as like.
Probably. Or if you're the Zodiac killer, you eat them or whatever.
Ugh, gross, yeah.
In the movie.
Squirrel Appreciation Day was founded by wildlife rehabilitator Christy Hargrove, who is affiliated with the North Carolina Nature Center. And according to her, people should help celebrate these animals by putting out extra food and learning about their species. That's how she thinks you should celebrate today.
Yeah. Makes sense.
But they're beautiful creatures, and depending on the type of squirrel that you research or look up, you can find out amazing facts about them. Like the Arctic squirrel can lower its temperature below freezing to help survive the longest hibernation of all the squirrels, which is over 8 months. And many of them have like funky hairstyles to survive rattlesnake bites and are extremely adorable. So yeah, and they are extremely smart. They one of the things they do is they bury their food, or they bury their nuts into the ground, which is a behavior called caching, I think is how you pronounce it. Caching, caching. Mm-hmm. That sounds right. And that allows them to assist with fruit and tree renewal, which I never even thought about.
Nice.
So they don't just eat nuts and seeds, they also eat mushroom spores, and eating the spores and then excreting them after they're digested. The fungi helps matter decompose and gives plants the nutrition they need to grow. So they help maintain the symbiotic relationship between plants and mushrooms and help spread the growth of plants all over.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of different types of squirrels, like just in North America, where like some of them have like the goofy ears, and like some of them are like the red, like reddish in color. Like ours are like kind of like a lighter brown, and they're like a little bit skinnier, like you said. They're not as big.
They're really skinny.
But it's hotter down here.
Fluffy tails. Yeah, it is hotter.
They don't really have to hibernate. Like it doesn't get super cold.
Eastern gray squirrel, is that probably what they're called?
The ones up north, I think, are.
Oh, okay.
Maybe
common squirrels and
maybe not.
Common squirrels in the U.S. are the American red squirrel, which we do not have, I don't think. Eastern gray squirrel and the black squirrels.
Maybe we do have the eastern gray squirrel.
That's what I'm thinking.
I just thought that those were, because I've seen, I don't know.
I mean, we're more like southeast, but whatever.
Yeah.
It depends how far east you're talking. Anyway, there's the flying Japanese squirrels, which are super, super adorable.
Nice.
I wish this article had a bunch of pictures of squirrels.
Yeah,
but the
ours
main
is
picture
the eastern gray squirrel.
is just yeah.
I mean, like, at least that's what the picture shows.
Look at the little acorn.
The fox squirrel.
Yep.
Fox squirrel is pretty cool. Southern flying squirrel.
They're nuts for nuts.
Mexican gray squirrel. Squirrel's such a weird word.
World. There's over 250 species of squirrels across 5 continents.
All right. What continent do you think they're not a part of? I mean, we know Antarctica, but it said 5, so there's got to be like another one.
I don't know.
North America. Maybe South America? No, there's got to be.
There's got to be them in South America.
Africa? Australia? Maybe Australia doesn't have squirrels.
That'd be weird. But I mean,
I'm going to Google it.
Okay.
I'm going to Google and see if they... Because you just said Japan does, so that means Asia does.
Yeah, exactly.
I would think Europe would, right? That's weird. No, I don't know. Does Australia have squirrels?
Do they have squirrels? So the first documented introduction to squirrels occurred in Philadelphia's Franklin Square in 1847. Boston and New Haven followed suit and brought in squirrels a few days later in 1850. The squirrel experiment, they had a squirrel experiment.
Nice.
Ended in the 1860s when many squirrels had either passed or were killed amid concerns that they would disturb birds and lead to insect problems. Man, no, they don't.
It says they're on every continent except for Antarctica and Australia. And it says, somebody asked, why are there no squirrels in Australia? And somebody posted, as for Australia, we shouldn't have any squirrels here because they're competition for our native possums.
Oh, that makes sense.
But it says, but over a century ago, 2 species were deliberately introduced. So there might be a couple now, unless they got rid of them.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, well, I guess that makes sense.
Makes sense.
But that's cool. They're on every continent.
They're on every continent. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, what like I was saying before is like they bury their seeds and stuff in the ground, and then they'll more so that they don't get stolen by other squirrels.
Right.
So they dig them up a little bit later and then rebury them somewhere else. But a lot of the times they forget where they buried them, or where some of them are. Yeah, and then trees grow in their place.
Oh, nice. Because they probably bury them all over. They're probably like one guy's cousin Eddie, I think is his name, in Vegas Vacation, where he hid all the money outside and couldn't remember where he buried it.
Yeah.
Or he buried a bunch of different pots and they all had different amounts of money in them.
Love it.
Yeah. That's cool.
Famous squirrel, Rocky Squirrel.
Rocky, Bullwinkle.
The plucky flying squirrel is introduced in the Bullwinkle Show and lasted 5 years as best friends and ally of Bullwinkle in 1959.
What about
Skippy and Slappy from the Animaniacs?
Okay.
That was 1993.
Yeah. What about Squirrel Girl?
Squirrel Girl.
Isn't that a superhero now?
Yeah, that is a superhero.
I don't know what her I never read any of that stuff, but
flying and doing squirrel things.
She flies and bears nuts.
Throwing nuts at stuff.
Yeah.
So it says 25% of nuts are stolen. The ones that they bury. 74% of the buried nuts are never recovered and then grow into the trees. And oh my God, they have a list of like every squirrel right here.
How many?
Tree squirrels, ground squirrels, flying squirrels. And then it's broken down into albino, mountain tree, antelope, spotted gray, American red, Douglas, fox, pygmy, northern flying, southern.
But a ground squirrel, you don't think they go in the trees ever? They just stay on the ground.
Yeah, that's weird. Probably, I don't know.
Unless they live where there aren't any.
Maybe they dig underneath.
Then that's a prairie dog.
That's true. The smallest species of squirrel is the African pygmy. It's 5 inches in length and 0.6 ounces in weight. Wow. The largest squirrel is the black giant squirrel, which can weigh up to 3 pounds. And
which are 30 feet tall.
3 feet from head to
wreak
tail.
havoc on small towns.
3 feet? Oh my God.
That's pretty big.
Holy shit. So, how do we celebrate today? Research? Squirrels. Look at pictures.
If you have squirrels in your neighborhood, put some nuts out
Put
for
some
them.
nuts out, or build them.
Or acorns if you go out and collect some.
Build them an obstacle course.
Build them. That's true. Mark Rober, I think, is the guy. He's a YouTuber who he does I think he used to work for NASA or something like that. So he always does cool, different, intricate designs of contraptions and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He did one where the squirrels kept stealing birdseed from his bird feeder. So he built an obstacle course that went all the way around his backyard to the bird feeder, which was at the very end, and he wanted to see how long it would take them to get to the bird feeder. And there was traps that would launch them into a net. He didn't want to hurt them or anything. But if you watch the video, it's
a net.
It's 25 minutes long, and it's he said eventually they did get to it. They even went on top of his roof and actually tried to jump all the way to just bypass the whole construction and just bypass it to get to the bird feeder. He said, but eventually they got there. Yeah.
Nice.
So
smart little guys.
Yeah, and I think he said after that whole thing, he posted and said that he just ended up deciding to feed them eventually. It's just fine, just have some.
Yeah, maybe just feed the squirrels.
I get that people want to feed the birds too, but what's wrong with the squirrels? Feed the squirrels too.
Yeah, I think people get annoyed because they get in the bird feeder. So that's why you have one for squirrels.
Put that little squirrel, you just got to put that little umbrella thing so they can't climb up because they try to climb up the pole. So if you put that there, they can't get around it.
That's true.
And that'll be for the birds, but then put one for the squirrels too.
If you want to look up the types of squirrels, there's this good website called squirrelsatthefeeder.com. And it has the ultimate guide to all 289 species in the world.
Jesus.
That's a lot of squirrels. And there's they have a video of every single type of squirrel. It's they went around and recorded a video.
Dang, it's like Planet Earth, but just with squirrels.
The flying squirrels are so cute. They're so cute.
I think squirrels are cute in general. Yeah. I like rodent. I think rats and mice are cute too, and not everybody agrees with that.
Prairie dogs. Do they count? Is prairie dog a type of squirrel?
That's what I'm saying. I don't know. I think prairie dogs are rodent.
Are groundhogs considered a type of squirrel?
I don't think groundhogs are. I think they're a different type of. I don't think those are rodents, are they? Groundhogs? I don't know. Who knows?
The ground squirrel is in Arizona, California, and New Mexico. And they burrow.
They burrow, yeah. But I don't think they're a type of squirrel.
They're literally called a ground squirrel.
Oh, so that is the ground squirrel.
Yeah.
So then that makes sense because they're not around trees because they live in the desert.
Yeah.
See, but you can have those as pets.
There's a lot of different types of ground squirrels. Look at this little guy sitting on his bum eating a little thingy. He's so cute.
That's my favorite thing with rodents and like hamsters and rats and stuff. I love when they just sit there and just eat something with their two
hands.
Yeah,
so
with their little
cute.
hands.
So cute.
Do we have a cake today?
Yeah, we have a cake to celebrate these squirrels, man.
Of course we do. That's why I already looked up different nut cakes. And you can have a southern nut cake. There's a caramel nut cake, an apple nut cake, a festive nut cake. There's all kinds of nut cakes. I think you have some kind of nut cake today.
Yeah. Have a nut cake.
Have a nut cake to celebrate your appreciation for squirrels.
Yeah, and don't be mean to them.
And actually, if you have a little bit of cake left, I think go out there and give them some cake.
Yeah, give them some
Go out into your front yard and give them a little bit of cake.
If it's a nut cake.
If it's a nut cake, they'll love it.
For sure.
But then they're probably going to expect it a lot, so don't do it too often. Just do it the one time.
That's true. They're just going to come to your door.
Yeah, everyone's like,
where's my nut cake, bitch?
I want some more nut cake. It's like crack. Okay, well, I guess that does it for this episode of Squirrel Day.
Squirrel Day? Yeah, I think so.
Thanks for celebrating with us, guys.
Yeah.
For Amber, for myself, we will see you guys tomorrow.
Okay, bye.
Bye. This has been a 7 Lamb production.